The blood hits the floor at 2:17 a.m. Not a lot, just drips from the duffel bag, red dots on white tile. The kind of evidence that turns a laundromat into a crime scene. Maria Gutierrez sees it immediately. 11 years working nights. You learn to spot trouble the moment it walks through the door. And trouble tonight is a man in his 40s, average height, wearing a jacket that's seen better days. He doesn't greet her, doesn't make eye contact, just walks straight to washer number 7, the industrial one, the one that can handle heavy loads, and starts emptying his bag. Shirts, pants, a jacket, all soaked in blood, fresh, still wet. The smell hits Maria from across the room. Metallic, unmistakable. The man feeds quarters into the machine, sets it to hot. Heavy soil, extra rinse. He knows what he's doing. This isn't his first time. Maria's hand moves toward the phone under the counter, the one connected directly to the police station. One button, that's all it takes. But her hand stops because she's seen what happens to people who call the cops in this neighborhood. They disappear. Their businesses burn down. Their kids get followed home from school. Maria has a daughter, so Maria's hand moves away from the phone, picks up a mop instead, cleans the blood off the floor, and waits for the man to leave. But he doesn't leave. He sits in the plastic chair facing the door, waiting for something or someone, and at 2:43 a.m., someone arrives. A woman, gun already visible. "Where's the money?" she asks. The man says nothing. Maria drops the mop because tonight she learns the hardest lesson of the night shift. Sometimes you can't just be a witness. Sometimes you're part of the crime, whether you want to be or not. Suds' 24-hour laundromat sat on the corner of Fletcher and 9th, sandwiched between a check cashing place and a liquor store with bars on the windows. The neighborhood had been declining for 20 years. Factories closed, jobs left, poverty moved in. What remained were pawn shops, bail bonds, and businesses that stayed open all night because that's when their real customers came. Maria Gutierrez, 42 years old, single mother, had worked the graveyard shift for 11 years. Midnight to 8 a.m., 5 nights a week. The pay was minimum wage. The tips were non-existent, but it was steady work, and steady mattered when you had a 16-year-old daughter to feed. The laundromat was long and narrow. 20 washers along one wall, 20 dryers along the other, folding tables down the middle. Fluorescent lights that hummed constantly. Tile floor, once white, now gray with years of grime no amount of mopping could remove. Security bars on the windows. One entrance, glass door with metal frame. Bell that chimed whenever someone entered. Maria sat behind the counter at the back. A small desk with a cash register, phone, and clear view of the entire space. She'd learned to read people. Who was here to actually wash clothes? Who was here to sleep? Who was here to do something illegal? Most nights, she let everything slide. Not her business. Not her problem. Tonight had been quiet until 2:17 a.m. The bell chimed. A man walked in. Maria assessed him automatically. White mid-40s, average build, wearing jeans and a dark jacket. Carried a black duffel bag. Nothing immediately alarming, until she saw the drips. Red, on the white tile. A trail from the door to washer number 7. The man set the bag down, unzipped it, started pulling out clothes. All of them soaked in blood. Not spots, not stains. Soaked like someone had been wearing them when they bled out. Maria's breath caught. Her hand instinctively moved toward the phone. The man glanced at her. Their eyes met. He didn't threaten, didn't plead, just looked at her with the exhausted resignation of someone who'd run out of options. Maria's hand hovered over the phone. One button. That's all it would take. But this neighborhood had rules. The first rule, don't call cops. Ever. People who called cops ended up hurt. Or worse, their families did. Maria had Emily, 16, home alone 3 blocks away, sleeping, safe. As long as Maria didn't make problems. Maria's hand moved away from the phone, picked up the mop leaning against the wall, started cleaning the blood trail. The man watched her surprised, then returned to loading the washer. He worked methodically. All the clothes went in. He added detergent, 3 times the normal amount, fed quarters into the slot until the machine accepted them, set the dial to hot water, heavy soil, extra rinse, hit start. The machine filled with red-tinged water. Then he sat down in one of the plastic chairs facing the door and waited. Maria finished mopping. The floor was clean. No evidence left. She dumped the bloody mop water in the utility sink, rinsed it, tried not to think about what she was cleaning away. Someone's blood, someone's life. The washer ran. The man sat. Maria returned to her counter, pulled out her phone, personal, not the emergency one, and pretended to scroll. But she watched. 2:30 a.m. The man hadn't moved, just sat, staring at the door like he was expecting someone. "You want coffee?" Maria asked. She kept a pot brewing. Cheap stuff, but hot. The man looked at her. "Sure." Maria poured him a cup in a styrofoam container. Brought it over. He took it, hands shaking slightly. "Thanks." "You're welcome." Maria returned to her counter. Didn't ask questions. Didn't want to know. But she couldn't help noticing details. The man's jacket sleeves had blood on them too. His hands were clean though. He'd washed them recently. His shoes were muddy. And he kept checking his watch every few minutes, like he was on a schedule. 2:43 a.m. The bell chimed. A woman entered, late 30s, athletic build, wearing a long coat that didn't quite hide the bulge at her hip. She scanned the laundromat quickly, professionally, saw the man. Her face hardened. "Michael," she said. Not a greeting, an accusation. The man, Michael, stood slowly. "Sarah." Sarah's hand went inside her coat, came out holding a gun, not pointing it yet, just holding it. "Ready. Where's the money?" Sarah asked. Maria froze behind the counter. This was bad. This was very bad. Michael raised his hands slightly. "I don't have it." "Bullshit. You took it. 2 million from the Castellano drop. You killed Jimmy to get it. And now you're washing his blood out of your clothes like that's going to make it go away." Maria's stomach dropped. Castellano. Everyone in the neighborhood knew that name. The crime family that ran everything. Drugs, gambling, protection. You didn't steal from the Castellanos. Not if you wanted to live. "I didn't kill Jimmy," Michael said carefully. "Someone else did. Framed me. I'm trying to figure out who. By sitting in a laundromat?" Sarah's gun raised slightly. "By staying visible. If I run, I look guilty. If I stay, maybe I can prove I'm innocent. You're washing blood out of your clothes. Because whoever killed Jimmy put me at the scene, planted evidence. I woke up this morning with Jimmy's blood on my jacket. I didn't kill him, Sarah, but someone's setting me up." Sarah didn't lower the gun. "And you thought washing the evidence would help?" "I thought getting rid of the blood would give me time to think." Maria watched this exchange from behind her counter. Every instinct screamed to hit the floor. Hide. Call the cops. But moving would draw attention. And calling the cops. Maria glanced at her phone. If she made that call, both of these people would know. One had a gun. The other was connected to the Castellanos. She stayed very still. Sarah took a step closer to Michael. "Here's what's going to happen. You're coming with me. We're going to the Castellanos. You're going to explain yourself. And if they believe you, great. If they don't." She shrugged. "That's not my problem. I can't go with you," Michael said. "The moment I show up, they'll kill me. You know that." Then tell me where the money is. I return it. They might let you live. I don't have the money. Whoever killed Jimmy took it. I'm just the fall guy. The washer beeped. Cycle complete. The sound broke the tension momentarily. Everyone looked at the machine. Your laundry's done, Sarah said dryly. Michael didn't move toward it. Maria spoke without thinking. You should both leave. Her voice came out steadier than she felt. This isn't the place for this. I've got cameras. She pointed to the security camera in the corner. A lie. The camera hadn't worked in 3 years. But they didn't know that. Everything's recorded. You don't want this on tape. Sarah looked at Maria for the first time. Really looked. Assessed her the way Maria had assessed Michael an hour ago. You see anything tonight? Maria shook her head. I don't see anything any night. Good. Keep it that way. Sarah's gun didn't move from Michael. We're leaving. You're coming with me. No, that wasn't a request. I'm not going anywhere with you until I figure out who set me up. Sarah's jaw tightened. Then I guess I'm arresting you. Citizen's arrest. For the murder of Jimmy Costa. Michael laughed bitterly. You're not a cop anymore, Sarah. You can't arrest anyone. Maria's eyes widened. Former cop. That explained the professional bearing, the way Sarah carried the gun. I still have authority as a licensed security contractor, Sarah said. And I'm taking you in. To who? The Castellanos? That's a death sentence. To Detective Ray Chandler. He's still investigating Jimmy's murder. If you're really innocent, tell him. Michael hesitated. Maria could see him calculating. Trust the detective or run? Before he could answer, the door chimed again. 2 men entered, both large, both wearing leather jackets despite the warm night. Both had the particular posture of people who hurt others for money. Castellano enforcers. Sarah saw them. Her gun shifted, covering both Michael and the new arrivals. This doesn't concern you. The first enforcer smiled without warmth. Michael Franco concerns us. He stole from Mr. Castellano. We're here to collect. He doesn't have the money, Sarah said. Then we collect him. The enforcer pulled a gun. His partner did the same. 3 guns now. In a laundromat. At 3 a.m. With Maria trapped behind the counter. Michael raised his hands higher. I didn't steal anything. I was framed. Tell it to Mr. Castellano. He won't listen. Probably not. But our job is to bring you. Dead or alive. Your choice. Sarah stepped between Michael and the enforcers. He's coming with me. Police custody. You want him? You go through legal channels. You're not police, the first enforcer said. No, but I'm armed, and I'm calling Detective Chandler right now. Sarah pulled out her phone with her free hand. The second enforcer raised his gun towards Sarah. Put the phone down. Maria had had enough. 11 years of watching criminals, victims, and everything in between walk through her door. 11 years of minding her business. But tonight she had a daughter sleeping 3 blocks away. And if bullets started flying, if this became a crime scene, cops would come. And when cops came, they asked questions. And questions led to attention. And attention in this neighborhood got people killed. Maria stood, loud, visible, everybody out, for heads turned toward her. Out. Now, I'm closing early. I don't care about your money, your murder, your boss, your arrest. Out. Lady. The first enforcer started. Out. Maria grabbed the phone. The emergency one. I'm calling the cops. Right now. You want to be here when they arrive? Guns out? In a laundromat? Go ahead. Stay. Maria's finger hovered over the button. Everyone froze. The first enforcer lowered his gun slightly. You don't want to do that. I really don't, Maria agreed. But I will, because my daughter is sleeping 3 blocks from here. And I don't want her waking up to news that her mother got shot in a laundromat. So either you all leave right now, or I press this button and we all deal with the cops together." Sarah studied Maria. Recognition in her eyes. Another working-class woman making impossible choices. Sarah lowered her gun. "We're leaving." "Like hell." The first enforcer started. "We're leaving," Sarah repeated louder. "Because she's right. We don't want cops. None of us do." She looked at Michael. "You've got 24 hours. Find proof you were framed. Bring it to Detective Chandler. If you don't, I'm coming for you. And I won't be gentle." Michael nodded slowly. Sarah holstered her gun, turned, and walked out. The bell chimed. The two enforcers looked at each other. Some unspoken communication. Then the first one spoke to Michael. "Mr. Castellano wants his money. 24 hours. After that, we stop asking nicely." They left. Maria, Michael, and the running washer remained. Michael sat down heavily in the plastic chair. "Thank you. Don't thank me. Just leave. I need to finish my laundry. Your laundry can burn. Get out." Framed. Rain keeps secrets. The streets don't lie, but they lie to you. He says he's innocent. She says the city's a cage. Tonight, truth is slippery. Michael looked at her, exhausted, cornered. "I didn't kill Jimmy. I know you don't believe me. Why would you? But I didn't. We were partners. We were friends. Someone killed him and set me up. And I have less than a day to prove it, or I'm dead." Maria wanted to tell him she didn't care. Wanted him gone. But something in his voice, the resignation, the exhaustion, reminded her of herself. Working a job she hated because it was steady. Trapped in a neighborhood she couldn't afford to leave. Making impossible choices every day just to survive. "Who do you think framed you?" Maria asked despite herself. "I don't know. But Jimmy and I were supposed to pick up $2 million from a Castellano drop. Cash. Jimmy was going to take it to the counting house. I was going to be at a different location providing alibi. Someone killed Jimmy at the drop site, took the money, and put my jacket at the scene, covered in his blood. The neon washes everything except the truth. Someone framed him. Someone erased Jimmy and left blood as a message." She listens, tired, deciding between leaving and staying. Outside, the city counts down his time. He has less than a day. Don't look away. Where were you when he was killed? At a bar. The Rusty Nail on 5th. I was there from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Witnesses can confirm. But by the time I got home, my apartment had been broken into. My jacket, the one I'd left at home, was on my bed, soaked in blood. Someone planted it. The Castellanos don't believe you? The Castellanos don't care. Money's missing. Jimmy's dead. I'm convenient. Guilty or not doesn't matter to them. The washer beeped again. Finished with rinse cycle, ready for transfer to dryer. Michael didn't move. Maria sighed. 11 years, and she'd never gotten involved. Tonight was breaking all her rules. "You need to talk to Detective Chandler. He won't believe me either." "He might. If you've got alibi witnesses. Alibi doesn't prove I didn't hire someone to kill Jimmy. Castellanos will say I planned it. Paid someone. Took the money." Maria thought about this. "The jacket. The one with blood. You still have it. I washed it. It's in the machine. Did you take photos before washing it?" Michael blinked. "No. Why would I? Because if someone planted it, there might be evidence. How the blood was distributed, whether it matched the crime scene. You destroyed evidence by washing it." I panicked. I just wanted it gone. Maria rubbed her temples. "Okay, listen. I know someone. Former forensics tech. Got fired for refusing to falsify evidence in a Castellano case. She works off the books now. Helps people the system won't. Maybe she can help you." "Why would you help me?" Good question. Maria asked herself the same thing. Because I've got a daughter, and I want her to grow up in a world where being framed doesn't automatically mean dying. Maybe that's naive. But tonight, I'm feeling naive. Maria pulled out her phone, scrolled through contacts, found the name. Teresa Vega. Called. 3 rings. A tired voice. This better be important. Teresa. It's Maria. From the Laundromat. Maria? It's 3 a.m. I know. I've got someone here. Says he was framed for murder. Needs forensics help. Off the books. Pause. Castellano related? Yeah. Longer pause. I don't do Castellano cases anymore. Too dangerous. He's got 24 hours before they kill him. Not my problem. Teresa. Please. You left the force because you wouldn't falsify evidence. Because you believed in truth. This guy says he's innocent. Help him prove it. Maria heard Teresa sigh on the other end. Fine. Bring him to my place. But Maria, if this goes sideways, we're both dead. I know. Maria hung up. Looked at Michael. Get your clothes. We're leaving. You can't go alone. You'll get followed. Killed before you reach her. If I'm with you, you're just a customer I'm helping load laundry. Less suspicious. Michael stared at her. You're risking your life for a stranger. I'm risking my life for my daughter. If you get killed tonight, the Castellanos will investigate. They'll review security footage. They'll see me mopping blood. They'll know I didn't call the cops. They'll think I helped you. And they'll come for me and Emily. So the only way I stay safe is if you prove your innocence. Fast. Michael nodded slowly. Okay, let's go. They moved quickly. Michael pulled his clothes from the washer. Still damp but clean. No more blood visible. Stuffed them in the duffel bag. Maria grabbed her keys, locked the register, flipped the closed sign. They left through the back exit. The one that led to the alley, away from street cameras. Maria's car was parked behind the building. An old Honda with 200,000 miles, but reliable. They drove in silence. Maria's hands gripped the wheel. She kept checking the rearview mirror. No one followed. Yet, Teresa Vega lived in a basement apartment on the east side. Former city forensics tech, now operating in the gray market. Helping defendants who couldn't afford proper legal representation. Analyzing evidence the police overlooked or suppressed. Teresa answered the door on the first knock. 50s, gray hair, sharp eyes that missed nothing. Inside. Quick. Her apartment was cramped but organized. Shelves full of textbooks, microscopes on folding tables, evidence bags organized by case. A workspace carved out of poverty, but maintained with professional precision. Show me everything, Teresa said. Michael emptied the duffel bag. Damp clothes. Teresa examined each piece under a magnifying light. These have been washed. Any blood evidence is compromised. I know. I panicked. Panicking destroys cases. Teresa kept examining, but I can still analyze blood distribution patterns. See if they match what you'd expect from direct contact with a victim. She photographed each piece from multiple angles. Tell me about the crime scene. Michael described it. Jimmy had been killed in an alley behind a warehouse. Shot twice, chest and head. Body found at 11 p.m. Time of death estimated between 9 and 10 p.m. You were at a bar from 9 to 1? Teresa asked. The rusty nail. Witnesses can confirm. Who? Bartender. Jerry. 2 regulars, Mike and Stevenson. They were there all night. Teresa made notes. I'll verify. What about the jacket? Describe exactly how it looked when you found it. On my bed. So, primarily on the chest and sleeves. Like I'd been standing close when someone bled out. Teresa nodded. That's consistent with close-range blood spatter. But here's the problem. If you were framed, Whoever did this knew enough about forensics to make it look convincing. That suggests professional, not random. Who would want to frame you? Maria asked. Michael thought. The only person who benefits is whoever actually killed Jimmy and took the money. If I'm dead or in prison, investigation stops. They're clear. Who had access to your apartment? Teresa asked. I live alone. Locks are standard. Anyone with basic lock-picking skills could get in. Who knew your schedule that night? Michael's face changed. Realization dawning. Sarah Connor. She's the one who gave me the alibi assignment. Said I should be at the Rusty Nail from 9 to 1. Created a timeline where I had witnesses but wasn't at the crime scene. The former cop who showed up at the laundromat? Maria asked. Yeah, she used to be police. Got fired for excessive force. Now she works private security. For the Castellanos. Teresa's eyes narrowed. She works for the people you allegedly stole from? She's a contractor. Does enforcement. Collections. And she told you where to be the night of the murder? Michael sat down heavily. She set me up. Sarah killed Jimmy. Took the money. Broke into my apartment. Planted the jacket. And now she's pretending to hunt me down to maintain her cover. Prove it, Teresa said. Can you prove Sarah had access to your apartment? She's been there. Few times. We were seeing each other. Casually. She had a key. Teresa nodded. That's motive and means. But we need evidence. The jacket won't be enough. We need to connect her to the actual crime scene. How? Michael asked. Blood evidence. If Sarah killed Jimmy at close range, she had blood on her too. She would have needed to clean it. Where would she do that? Maria spoke up. My laundromat. That's why she showed up tonight. She'd been there before. Washing evidence. She probably saw Michael's clothes in the machine and realized he was there. Teresa looked at Maria. You keep records? Security footage? No cameras work. But I keep a log. Names, times, machine numbers. For repairs and maintenance. Get me that log. Every entry from the night of the murder until tonight. They worked through the night. Teresa analyzed the clothes, documented blood patterns. Maria drove back to the laundromat, carefully watching for tails, and retrieved her logbook. 11 years of entries. Names, dates, machines. She found it. Sarah Connor, March 15th, 11:37 p.m. Machine 7, the same machine Michael had used tonight. The night of Jimmy's murder. 43 minutes after the body was discovered. Sarah had been at the laundromat, washing something. The log didn't say what, but timing was damning. Teresa called Detective Ray Chandler at 6 a.m. Ray, Teresa Vega. I've got something on the Jimmy Costa murder. 20 minutes later, Ray arrived at Teresa's apartment, listened to the evidence, looked at the photographs, the timeline, the log entries. This doesn't prove Sarah killed Jimmy, Ray said, but it proves she lied about her whereabouts. She told us she was home that night, but she was at the laundromat. That's enough for a warrant. 2 hours later, police raided Sarah Connor's apartment, found the $2 million in cash hidden in her bedroom closet, found clothes in her laundry hamper with trace blood evidence, Jimmy's blood, found a burner phone with messages to a contact about taking care of the loose end. Michael was cleared. Sarah was arrested. The Castellanos got their money back. And Maria went back to her laundromat, back to her 11-year-old routine, minding her business, seeing nothing, saying nothing, but something had changed. A week later, Emily came to the laundromat after school. 16, bright, studying for her SATs. She sat at the counter doing homework while Maria worked. "Mom," Emily said, "why do you work here? You could do something else. Get a better job." Maria thought about that night. about choosing to help, about breaking her rules, about risking everything for a stranger. "I work here because it's steady," Maria said, "and because sometimes people need a place where they can wash things away. Start over. That's important work. Washing clothes. Washing whatever needs washing." Maria smiled slightly. "And maybe, if you're lucky, helping someone clean up a mess before it buries them." Emily didn't understand, but someday she would. The laundromat continued its 24-hour cycle. Washers hummed, "Drierspun." People came in carrying things they needed to wash away. Dirt, sweat, blood, evidence, guilt. And Maria Gutierrez kept working the night shift, kept seeing things she didn't see, kept washing away evidence that wasn't evidence. Because in a bad neighborhood where people did bad things, sometimes the kindest act was looking away. But sometimes, just sometimes, the kindest act was looking closer. The machines ran hot. The rinse was cold. The cycles repeated. And Maria learned that 11 years of rules could break in a single night. Some stains wash out. Some don't. But trying to clean them? That's what makes the difference. The laundromat closed at 8 a.m. The fluorescent lights stayed on. The machines stayed ready. Because somewhere, someone would need to wash something away. And Maria would be there. Watching, waiting, deciding. Silent witness to the city's 2 a.m. crimes and 3 a.m. redemptions. Where the water runs red before it runs clear. And everything, eventually, comes clean. Or doesn't.